Yeah. Times 2:32. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? I will second. There's a motion in the second. All in favor? I. You don't want me all of them. I'm just for extra credit. Okay, so there's some on our agenda. District priorities, and the reason that we thought this was a friendly discussion was in your interview, you said it's not really asked what our priorities are, and we all had different answers. So we were thinking as you were coming on, it might be good for us to refine that a little bit, okay, so that we're not all just like do everything. How you doing it? It's possible. So our answers were website, kind of operational, foundational building, implement the fiscal year 2026 budget, even more of that, for that we funded. And then thirdly was to update. Also acknowledging that we were just arriving. And so you have all of you need to meet everybody, build relationships, all practice the community. So that's where we were like, maybe we can narrow this down a little bit. I was thinking maybe we could dive down into the status of each of those and maybe each high level. And then is that okay, so let's start with our operational needs. Now, early on, we built that spreadsheet where we can bring some of the operating needs of the district. And then I updated it, we can sort of chipping off as best we can, but immediately if we we're all so enthusiastic, if we go, so on our spreadsheet here. Ongoing is training for board members and obviously for the well. There's a lot of great training opportunities in the state. I think is the local government training school. Public records, we actually do fairly often get public records requests. They're created a form for people to fill out. So one thing I think that we should do in that regard is create a more expensive policy. And now that we have paid staff, we can actually charge beyond 2 hours. And I think we should do that because it helps people refine what it is that they're asking for. For example, if someone says, send me every single document that you have, they want every single text email, it's expensive, but when it's price tag, they might say, send me every document with the text instead. So that's one thing we should do. Operational, so we can make it just help. General policies and procedures for the best communications plan, we've adopted a contract with Cranston to help us create a logo, which we saw for sale. Another they helped us there, so media page itself. So and she's been helping the rest of it. But that's what we don't updated master plan, we said that in our operation meetings. Establish MOUs with all of the government agencies. This is something that we will need to do. It falls hand in hand with the budget and funding projects in each of those entities and maybe speak of the funding and sort of operations or projects for nonprofits.
Yeah, I think that the cities, the MOU that we need to develop and overview memorandum of understanding. At this point, we had discussions with them, but it was pretty informal. And then once that kind of defines overall agreement of how we're gonna work, we really have reset and even though we talked about specific explore.
I think also along those lines, that I have been as report about the all the district, especially when it comes to the rec plan and also funding their various projects. The vision for those funds, couple of meetings. So what we're now in decision making and making sure that 2026 budget adopted. Executive director nailed it. Discuss operations with other districts such as the library district, fire district, people in districts. Having not too expensive. Establish a website in progress, and I would say that's one of the top things.
Yeah, so what, I mean, from Katie's standpoint, what, I mean, at this point, we got people out doing that. Those, who we can get out, what we,
So I just gave Erica access to all of our minutes and agendas and start there as far as propagating information to them. So she's just kind of going to that was the last thing. So are they sort of on the building phase of the website? You can be copied. They're gonna be creating their own version of a lot of stuff, I think, and then the rest in here, I think, based on the stuff we've given her. She actually has a lot of information.
so what's, I mean, originally, I think we both put together something.
Well, we missed some
Yeah.
deadlines with the
Those, yeah.
we're up.
Do we know what they,
Full of very few. progress with our logo and colors. So, at our next meeting, we should be finalizing those for the date. Staff and board bios are also due. That will be. And by the 1st of December, we need to have some photos ready to submit. And that's kind of get close in that space, so. Have we received any photos yet? We haven't much. We're doing photo. See if the community has some. We need to see the progress. But Eric and I have a Wednesday afternoon meeting scheduled for tomorrow. So we have meeting, but I want to ask her or pass it on. So I think operationally, the website is needed, especially for. Develop logo, that's in progress, and I would say, nothing. We will introduce you, we have consultants for a couple for loyal, brands talk for communication and what airlines. Saying that and those things. We have a PO box. Email account, so right now we're all working on the Gmail account, so we can screw it, guys, but. Professional. If it will be in the long term, especially if it so. But for now. Let's see here. Did we become members of the Iowa Recreation Park Association? Are you a member of that? Yes. I think we've done everything we need to organize the role with regard to the state and the state tax commission.
We did do some reporting, that's still what you see.
If I am not regular updates to see things on. But we should not simply annual audit process. In Idaho, audit preparing for so right this year, it's with the our funding is so well that we actually came off to do budget or audits. Next year, our budget will so we will need to do. That usually happens in the fall, so that's something for late summer. Waterways Recreation Advisory Committee. How do we interact with this? Yeah. Their meetings and or their right now they're currently working on new signage. relationship building, and then ditto environmental and recreation specialist. That's a community position, which they need to be. Yeah, it seems to be. So that's sort of our operational list. I would say. In reviewing it, the most important things are the website. Probably the MOUs, advisory committee. And then the rest. This sort of, just be sort of. That to all of the price thing.
Well, I think the master plans. We had hoped to get that coming along. It's not gonna go. That's what we don't have in my mind. The five review that in place, because, you know, we got a year worth of funding to spend. So. Here we go. Almost. Wow. Those sort of violent.
There are two.
We get those 4 things done before the end of the year, at least then when we started, you know, starting the problem. You know, any things. Small project or 2. You're not necessarily having MOUs for every line item we have. At least developing the process.
Yeah, I don't think we need MOUs for the. Process. That would be good for. Cities. Because. We're overlapping with.
Still, budget. In my mind. Implementing the budget. Much what you can say in job. In my mind, the operational needs and the budget are actually sort of rising to the top. Just because there's a deadline associated with them. And. Don't know that we need correctly and probably. To, I think it would be nice, not, it's important for sure. But in my mind, making sure we know the budget. And obviously just operations are more urgent, I would say.
Well, I
Let's
think,
get
yeah.
to the budget, is getting that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a parallel. I mean, getting that defined, because we don't want to, be in July next year without having those new sets of funding. Yeah, because that'll help guide us, so I think we need to, you know, pretty much in parallel with that. At least. Really, this one, we get that one, yeah. Start looking at this. And that's gonna take most of the spring.
I'm just saying, I don't think we, like, if we go through the budget. Generally speaking, there is administration, that would be direct into that. Contracted professional services. We have maintenance, capital improvements, operation. You go up through the cities, a lot of it is sort of already defined in the budget as deferred maintenance, lawn care. Signage, bathrooms, things
Well,
like that.
I'm not saying that we need that to implement the budget this year.
Right,
We should have had it last week.
right,
We don't.
exactly,
I'm saying that we need to get that in place for next year, but
yes, I agree,
yeah.
Which is
So doing it in parallel, and I mean, it's a project with all the projects. In my mind, but also.
I'm just saying, and if we can't do everything all at once, I'm saying. That operational needs in my mind come first, along with this budget that's here and now. And then, that's where my money is at, and then. I'm not saying delay it significantly or anything like that, I agree with you that we'll need it. By the season. But if. The website is coming along, say, in the next month or two, maybe that's when we start thinking about the season. We could probably help. We need to put that. And have a place for consultants to look at and find it.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I'm worried about, we're taking, I'm worried about our executive director being like, fully overwhelmed, and we said all at once, over the next 2 months, build the district. Do an RFP, update our plan, and start implementing this budget,
yeah, no,
which includes a lot of groundwork. That could be a lot.
and I don't think we're throwing out, I don't think we're throwing out.
Okay. That's,
I think
that's.
she's got, we have to decide kind of what her scope needs to be. What the district needs to be themselves, and I think those things are all, tasks that we need to go on. And then we figure out how best.
Thank
And where, Katie's, next month, half of the times probably just to be. But there's also times when put it up with something. I would say we push her until she says, I got enough. You never know where that line is when you cross it. And I think she'll tell us that. So I think we just need, and I think to get the budget stuff, the projects up and running. I think that's a lot of our footwork that happens just because. We've already got those relationships and we talked about these projects. And so, I think. Working at support the nonprofits. That's a little more difficult to figure out how to do that. Those projects and ideas and things that say, well, these are the general requests. But how can we legally do what activities can support?
I complimented that to the council by my use of, if it's legal, it's good doing it.
Yeah, and that's what we're learning as we go here. Is all these wonderful things, oh, we can do that. Well, there shouldn't think like that. Something clearly states that can do. Other ones. I'm more interested. So I think, so working on the city council, that's Sarah's thing she needs to do to help figure out what that project is. So I think that's a lot. Or hope that bring Katie along with us, build those relationships and put it through. Catch up. Yeah. So I don't know if that answered a really good question. I think you got this list of things you got to figure out how this. And maybe some of that's Katie coming back and saying, okay, I think I hear what got. This is my My contact.
I wonder if we add an update, just a verbal update to our agenda, it's like operational update for. Implementation of a budget update. I hope that's all stay on the same page, that's. Just like a verbal update.
Yep.
Not anything that would require from work or anything, but just something. To spur us all from the regular conversation, like, okay, here's where we're at, what we're doing, where we're going. Oh, we. Let's get this on with that, plan, I'm sure we have to.
It was, I was trying to figure that, the laser leash was not open, on the follow on, probably not. I'll get a more robust. Electronic system on. But I want to take a look at what it's on. Still all over the other things like. It was like 2015.
Well, teach support, yeah. So where we are with the rec plan update is we've approved a skill. So we just need to convert that into, and let's relook at it, using one last time, sort of create an outline of the process, but to release deadlines, how we would review and select consultant and the consultant. So I will need to get access to that, but I'll get that stuff. That's not a copy of what I'm maybe that you want. No, and I think out to all of them. John,
Yes,
Sarah
sir.
had one same email pattern, but I don't, so go there.
Yeah, I
Oh.
Cause I was kind of picturing like me doing the onboarding with all the document stuff,
Yeah,
once she has it. There's like shopping as well, what's the next on the list?
yeah.
They're gonna go for tomorrow, so.
Right.
That's it.
It didn't get around to looking at the information. During these people's status,
Oh, okay, did they have that?
I forgot. to put it.
Oh, okay.
And then once you have your own district computer that you can start. Setting up.
Yeah.
You can see this, it's just for that time versus.
I'm just excited.
Yeah, so.
Okay. I said that they'll probably go.
And then it's a phone number this too, as well, and then that, you're efficient.
We had a list of things. We have with that list, I think, right?
It was just general, your office. And we did a very rough, reasonable level of control. Even for that, but if it's just. But it was like laptop, if you need a second screen, documentation, you know, like people would know all of that. So it wouldn't be like, or just. It's a good laptop. Printer to meet basic needs because we have like a little bit. Something that scans the phone plan and office funds that you may need.
I know.
Yeah.
Good.
I did.
Minutes yet.
It's gross, it looks like that, okay,
And it's, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, okay, so that's kind of the overview of the three categories of
Mhm.
women code. So. Do you feel like I cannot, or do you feel like? No, I think that this is a good start, figure out more. Okay. I'll take it. Oh, I'll do one of these. That's like the things that are all.
Yeah, well, I
And
mean,
figuring out how we.
the master plan is, 14 years old, right? And, yeah, that can give you a feel. Okay. I think a lot of that's still from that. We started, and then I think that sort of began to invite people to for right, yeah. With all the conversations. And then they.
Did we record the?
When we put. John's screen up, really next to be lost, all sound, which is horrible.
I was gonna say, it seems that whole.
I was typing though. As people were, I didn't know who I do that. Their comments and.
The 90,000 is. Pretty sure. Yeah. People. Really. All, it feels like something would be to sure that would be it. And. Everybody is safe, all of the different user groups, they're obviously all candy with. Their user group, but they were also so supportive and open to all of the different so it really was. And I would say, one of the best. I sincerely mean it, it was well attended, instructive.
So you say. That was different. The, which side of it? Yeah, which is something that just from a small path, maybe though. Our social media is pretty limited. Even things like. When we send out. To all this. Yeah, but just, I mean, that's something to think about. Who kind of runs the. Stuff like that? I don't know.
You know, social media was on my list.
Cool. There you go. Yeah, straight.
On that note, should we go into our discussion?
Can't think of who this, kind of on our way to do. Where's the.
Absolutely. You cannot call me job.
Oh, right, this is priority. This is like having a white canvas, but it has a lot of colors, but it's taking canvas. Work with your few of them, so we're good.
You want to talk social media?
Sure. So, we close this week, let's do that. Marketing director said, and then also, I'm just closing meetings.
Yeah.
But we are starting to get comments. And some are really easy to respond to, but some, it's just people's opinions, and I, that they don't. Good or bad, it doesn't matter, I wanna be consistent with how we respond to. Folks' opinions and comments, so I wonder if I should be just directing them to submit more of a formal comment by email. Or should we be screenshotting them and sharing them at the meetings, but this is all new and we're starting from scratch, like I wanna make sure we're setting the foundation for consistency and response into this?
Yeah, so I think the city of Briggs doesn't allow comments because it the record and we respond. I think that's why we don't do that.
Yeah, but maybe you should also be. San Juan has a great policy for their city, Parks and Rec is different. You know, you conference of work, but I just think the same thing. They only got, they turn this out sometimes, people do get removed before they get a chance to show up, but, yeah. I'm happy with you. With me, you know, use of the, very good, economic, comment, if you comment, comment. I'm not sure what's going on.
I just am now remembering. This is
I'm not ignoring you.
Yeah,
Oh.
You said direct.
yeah, I think it was more a matter of they don't do it somehow, starts to.
It becomes right.
Becomes a record
Yeah, and
and
you
stuff,
have to
so,
change.
yeah.
Yeah, people need it in the hospital, you know, and then, you know. Okay, people don't,
Internship policy.
the other cities to make on social media.
And then there's also, I think that there's like disclaimers and people, you know.
Well, we get something in writing and we can do this, to the city papers, some more specific page, so people can.
That was why we didn't want to start social media. We're asking for it, and we wanted the way to that website to direct people to actually. Yeah. Right now we have no ways. And besides to like respond. And again. Just respond with.
Can we start with the info page?
Well, I don't email. I have that, and that's what I did. Okay. So I can probably hand that over to you. It's on my list. Okay. And it's mostly just responding, either forwarding things to the other directors or responding to an information process. Okay. But is everyone okay with me? So we kind of just sharing that info that we can help people for any comment that they make.
Yeah, because we'll get the same thing. I almost even feel like that's about me.
I think it gives people a more formal way to submit something.
Yeah, so email, if somebody said, five years ago, oh, hey.
I know, I already saw comments that were missed from when it got set up, and Erica still had it. I didn't have any answers yet, and there's comments that got missed. I don't know about doing that 5 weeks or 8 weeks or however.
So I think it's worth just reading comments until we have. All people.
That might be worth it, we put it, that they follow the top of the page, and you put just on some friends, on them, put their email address, they should email address, and I can be so on this. Yeah.
Well, then it's clean, and they can send you.
Yeah.
Those opportunities for people feel for information.
And when we have a website, we're right from there. We don't have.
Yeah, I think you can do the same thing from social media presence instead of we. Well, getting off, and especially until we have the website, just because. I think that's been one of the largest calls, communities, before this been formed, I think this, is just. What's going on, what you guys doing, talk to us. And it's been fun for us to do it, we have no way to talk to you, right? I think I'm so actually, something that we used to do, it is a little bit I'm concerned, after a meeting. Do a post about this is the action that we tell. So like today, we could do a post that says we discussed our priorities. They are X, Y, and Z. That's not easy, or the board, we need a motion to. You know, whatever it is, but that might help people know what they're doing. In the interim, and it's easier to say, you know, it's like, oh, we need to do this.
Let's see, our next meeting, Friends about this protocol is.
Okay.
David, ask some of them. Bill, problem. Friends that people know sports, so we were instrumental in. Yeah. They have more weeks for. 4 years. A lot of research. Met Friday. We were waiting and. Getting. Hard. Plans. And we'll pass on some of their thoughts on how they could potentially help us. Wasn't clear if they, I mean, if some aspects they might, I mean, they could do a lot of what we're doing with the update. And going big on that, but just look at it expensive. Was that pretty much sure?
Yeah, you can, I, you guys, okay. Yeah, they can offer technical assistance. Or big pieces of it, in the recognition. That was unclear if we had an action taken in RFP. We'll work with them.
Let's respond to the, you know, they're just gonna be able to say, hey, these services, but sound like they have some ability to provide. For free, and yes. They felt that counties, they drive for the effort. Which they've been, they were involved. Plan that which. Okay.
It would be nice. That's awesome.
The 25th council meeting. And they're excited about prioritizing their list to see what can be accomplished. That's my ideas, is that, you know, just hopefully something simple. That we can just start building and training for it. They're on board with it. They weren't, you know, because it was as a discussion, item on their agenda, so. One thing that they put out there right away is the stuff around the new features that they already purchased, but would kind of like to be reimbursed perhaps. And put that one back in their savings. Something else they were talking about was the new bathroom they were supposed to be getting this fall. The manufacturer is way behind on it. And so they kind of moved funding around. And we're gonna need to come up with money for
moving the water and power and the actual pad of the balconies and so on. Because they lost their public works guy this summer, so they won't be able to complete the work that they had planned on doing anything else. And so they need to get it out. So, I mean, they might have been discussing that in their executive session. But. Not having them, so we need to pull that up. We need enough to leave the money down. But we have to.
Let's go to Victor representatives. There was, I think it was flooding that happened in Brookside Hollow Park and caused some damage. So if we wanted to help them out, that's something that's clearing now. The downside is Brookside Hollow, like a small neighborhood park, so what happens to do, but it is one last year from now. Victor also received a grant to install some bathrooms in Safe Park. So that will be happening this spring. It sounds as though there's a possibility or something like that. So we could also help out there. And then, sort of, you know, initially presented the idea that the first thought was helping the state help people that lost their money. Next summer, that was possible. So I need to follow up with them again, with the city administrator and the mayor and see kind of what their top preference would be, and then, what that we can bring it back with these. So there's certainly a way of needs, nonetheless, plenty of needs.
Yeah, and some of the great city plan for the whole house. So.
And you know that. Items for our next meeting, we'll add the wellness. Advisory group formation, John, did I see you know that?
Yeah, I think I sent out a, yeah, so I drafted up this resolution, this kind of starting point. This purpose is you see it. The purpose of resolution is both now we can follow how safely mowers we can down. Identifying and evaluating projects, programs, facilities for use of this. So that we can involve the state. So. More details. Committee talk with seven individuals. Board. That is not what it's leading all the support and application. Down to all personal. At least one member use the following interests. This is something that we can. These sports, both sports, recreation, senior, sports, field users, West Greens and Sevens. So that's kind of would be negative. Will endeavor to purpose and duties, content about community priorities, issues and concerns, development revenue, comprehensive process for evaluating license profits and programs, consider setting the files and district or extension don't use the disabilities, we consider future product regulation assessment, everything that's regulation areas, recommend regulations and resolutions of safety and definition of enjoyment, recommend methods of procedures necessary testing of properties, program, media, or the property uses. Objective, recommend the board, recommend to the board, recommend employment of or conduct. That's kind of a general gist about that. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. If there is probably. Usually documents that might be under the first edition doesn't have a typo or so. That would be not allowed.
And then we have on the agenda, air plan update. And then the city's meetings, so what that is that, we are moving on. Motions that will have a little bit of funding available here. So they've always showed, we can see if they have any legal needs that we could assist with. So we've all reached out. Actually, along those lines, are we wanting the cities to submit something in writing, a letter?
I think I think what we gotta do is the first thing is, okay, let's identify what they might be. Let's, then, to some level of detail, and let's run the file legal counsel. It will tell us. No, yes, you gotta do
Do we
this.
want something in writing?
Yeah, we need, yeah. And then once we've done that, we decide. Yeah, again, like we talked about this morning, it's because we're so new and trying to figure out. But we back up, so most recreation districts perform for single purpose. Right. And we want, so we can get broad brush, that's south, so, and, everybody wants help, everybody needs help. And we're going to figure out who what we can do with that stuff. That's stuff like. Making it not simple. Yeah.
And then I will add just a regular section for a verbal update on operations.
We try to have just think directly report.
Yeah.
Ooh. I can see that. It's partial being a man.
Can I do that?
It always causes me to work hard when I see something, oh, it's supposed to be. You know.
Is there anything else? Do you have anything else? that you would like to discuss? No, I have to do anything.
Not really, I'm just kind of processing, so. Trying to, trying to do that. We're not processing, so it's.
Yeah, and just from, I mean,
That's really, it's like, where do we start this class from? Oh, yeah.
so, yeah, and Sarah was the secretary, we kind of. Was kind of backwards, you know, back, this is very much the money stuff. We all figure out how. We. With that. And we'll get you, it's, I'll send you.
Does anyone attend the AIC open law meeting input? That's it, you know, ignorance. It's very in depth. Review, I don't think it's actually.
Okay.
Which is all.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't have our.
So maybe, email creation is. Talk a little bit so that then we can, you know, we'll get things going to the official instead of the person. Okay, maybe that's, I'll wait for you to. Anything else? I will make a motion for the third second. Very motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Motion, to all in favor. Motion carries the agenda, 3-1. Hey, thanks everybody.
Yes.
What's your,
We read down, hopefully, some.
Wonderful.